The scene is a familiar one to many cat owners. You return from a vacation to find your cat has urinated in your open suitcase. Or, after a stressful vet visit, your feline companion gives you the cold shoulder for hours. These compelling narratives fuel the long-standing myth of the vengeful cat, a creature that deliberately gets back at its owners for perceived slights. From the tale of Pamukjer, who destroyed his cone of shame the moment it was removed, to the ginger cat Indy, who allegedly waited 6 years to exact his revenge on an older housemate. Our cultural fascination with feline retribution spans centuries. Science, however, offers a more nuanced reality. While cats do not plot revenge in human terms, lacking the complex cognitive capacity for such malice, they are masters of associative learning. They form lasting negative connections with events, people, or objects that cause them fear, pain, or stress. These powerful memories directly influence their future behavior, creating the perfect illusion of a calculated payback. The cat watching from the windowsill as you pack isn't planning her retaliation. She is simply forming an anxious association between the suitcase and your impending absence. The belief that cats harbor a capacity for vengeance is deeply rooted in ancient mythology and folklore, where felines were often endowed with supernatural powers. In ancient Egypt, cats were revered and associated with the goddess Bastet, a deity of protection who could also unleash chaos upon those who angered her. This reverence was profound. Killing a cat could result in the death penalty, and families would shave their eyebrows in mourning when their household cat died. Beyond Egypt, cultures worldwide wove tales of feline retribution. Japanese legends spoke of the Nekomata, cats that transformed into vengeful spirits after mistreatment, and the demon Kosha, which stole the souls of those who had wronged cats in life. Celtic lore told of the cat Sith, a dog-sized black cat with supernatural abilities, while the Taichakla was a mystical cat whose mere gaze could bring death. This archetype of the avenging cat was further cemented in Europe during the witch trials, where felines were linked to malevolent magic and supernatural revenge, reflecting a deep-seated cultural awe and fear of their perceived power. The apparent grudges cats hold are not products of fantasy, but of a sophisticated, evidence-based memory system. Scientific research has begun to unravel how feline recall works, revealing a capacity for forming lasting associations. A key study from the University of Alberta demonstrated that cats possess impressive short-term spatial memory, able to remember the exact size and position of an obstacle for up to 10 minutes without visual cues. Further, Japanese research has shown that cats have episodic memory, similar to humans and dogs, meaning they can recall the what, where, and when of specific past events. Their short-term memory for significant incidents can last approximately 16 hours, but emotionally charged memories linked to trauma or intense fear can persist indefinitely. The brain processes these experiences through primitive regions like the amygdala and hypothalamus, creating powerful, lasting associative memories that guide future behavior, forming the true foundation of what we misinterpret as vengeance. To understand why revenge is not a feline motive, we must examine the fundamental building blocks of their emotional world. Groundbreaking research by Jacques Panksepp identified 7 basic, instinctual emotional systems in all mammals: seeking, lust, care, play, rage, fear, and panic, grief. Notably absent from this primal list are complex, socially constructed emotions like revenge, spite, and jealousy, which require a level of moral reasoning and forethought that cats do not possess. As veterinarian behaviorist Stephanie Schwartz explains, a grudge involves malicious behavior requiring forethought. There is no proof that cats think that way. Instead, cats process their experiences through the lens of survival instincts. What humans interpret as a vengeful act is, from a neurological perspective, far more likely to be a manifestation of fear, rage, or a stress response. Scientific studies confirm that fearfulness is a strong predictor of aggression in cats, highlighting that their actions are driven by primal self-preservation, not a calculated desire for payback. The enduring behaviors we interpret as feline vengeance are actually powerful examples of associative learning. Cats excel at linking specific people, places, or events with negative experiences, and then modifying their future behavior based on those memories. A traumatic event, such as a painful medical procedure or a frightening encounter, can create a lifelong negative association, leading to avoidance or fear-based aggression. This process explains cases like the Siamese cat that would consistently hiss at one specific person who had once hissed at it as a joke. The cat wasn't plotting revenge, it had formed a stable, long-term negative association with that individual. Scientific findings reinforce that poor socialization, traumatic experiences, or a background as a rescue cat are strong predictors of such fearfulness. Furthermore, cats weaned too early before 1,214 weeks show an increased likelihood of aggressive behavior throughout their lives, underscoring how early negative experiences shape adult conduct. When a cat urinates in a suitcase after an owner-ass vacation, it is not an act of punitive retaliation. This common anecdote, often cited as proof of vengeance, is scientifically understood as a stress response and a method of territory marking upon the owner's return, which disrupts the cat's environment. Similarly, aggressive behavior that surfaces hours after a grooming session or vet visit is a classic example of a delayed stress reaction, not a calculated revenge. These behavioral manifestations are rooted in underlying causes like fear, anxiety, or redirected instincts. A cat avoiding a specific family member is demonstrating a learned fear response based on a negative association, perhaps with a loud noise or an unpleasant interaction. Destructive scratching is often a redirected predatory instinct or an anxiety response, not spite. As noted by the Cornell Feline Health Center, feline aggression is complex, often involving redirected responses where the cat, unable to reach the source of its stress, lashes out at an available target. Human attempts to discipline a cat for what is perceived as revenge typically exacerbate the very behavior they aim to stop. This creates a counterproductive cycle, as cats do not cognitively understand the connection between punishment and a supposed crime. Instead, they form a negative association with the person administering the punishment. A University of Guelph study confirmed this, showing that while positive reinforcement reduces aggression, punishment-based methods significantly increase it. When a cat experiences punishment, it becomes more stressed and fearful, leading to an increase in aggressive responses and avoidance behaviors. The cat may start to avoid its owner, creating the appearance of holding a grudge. Drive. Sarah Ellis notes that punishment severely damages the human-cat bond and creates anxiety. Research involving over 200 cats further established that fearfulness strongly correlates with aggression, and inconsistent treatment where an owner is sometimes nice, sometimes not, fosters anxiety and avoidance that can easily be mistaken for vindictiveness. Not all cats are equally prone to displaying behaviors that owners interpret as revenge. Individual differences play a significant role. Scientific studies have identified several key factors that influence these tendencies. Breed-specific differences in stress sensitivity and aggression patterns can create varying predispositions. Research also points to gender and early life experiences. Spayed females, for instance, show more negative relationships in multi-cat homes, and cats weaned too early before 1,214 weeks demonstrate increased aggression throughout life. Conversely, a surprising research finding reveals that cats weaned later, in adulthood 1,415 weeks or older, actually exhibit lower rates of aggression, shyness, and other abnormal behaviors. Environmental stressors, such as outdoor access, also correlate with increased aggression. These factors collectively explain why some cats seem more prone to long-lasting negative associations. This is a critical practical concern, as statistics show that 27 of cats surrendered to shelters for behavioral reasons are given up specifically for aggression issues. The persistent perception of feline revenge is less about cat behavior and more about human psychology. Our brains are hardwired for pattern recognition, instinctively seeking causal connections and assigning intentionality to the actions of others, including animals. When a cat acts out shortly after an owner returns from a trip, The timing coincidence creates a powerful though false correlation in our minds. This is compounded by anthropomorphism, the natural tendency to project human emotions, motivations, and complex thought processes onto our pets. We interpret a cat's actions through our own emotional framework, seeing calculated spite where there is none. Furthermore, confirmation bias ensures we remember and share the vivid anecdotes that support the revenge narrative, while forgetting the countless times our cats behaved neutrally or affectionately after a perceived slight. The role of social media and viral revenge cat stories further reinforces these beliefs, creating a cultural feedback loop that perpetuates the myth. Documented cases provide powerful illustrations of how feline associative memory creates scenarios indistinguishable from revenge to human observers. These include multi-generational avoidance, where a cat shuns an entire family lineage due to a past negative experience with one member. Other cats display intense, specific reactions to clothing, scents, or objects associated with a single traumatic event, such as a particular veterinary towel. Shelter environments often reveal cats with selective fear, consistently avoiding people who resemble their former abusers in gender, stature, or scent. There are also documented cases of redirected aggression, creating the appearance of punishing an innocent party. A cat, agitated by an outdoor rival but unable to reach it, may instead attack its feline housemate. The case of Merlin the Bombay cat exemplifies this. His behavioral changes, rooted in grief after the loss of a companion, were misinterpreted as spite, leading to responses that further traumatized him and worsened the cycle. Contemporary scientific inquiry continues to refine our understanding of the complex behaviors behind the vengeful cat stereotype. A significant 2022 study of fearfulness in over 200 cats revealed clear correlations with a range of problematic behaviors, providing a data-driven backbone to the link between stress and aggression. Modern research is increasingly focusing on multi-cat household dynamics, identifying the specific factors that affect cat-cat relationships and, by extension, the potential for conflict that owners might misinterpret. Emerging investigations into feline social cognition are yielding crucial insights, including the finding that cats show decreased performance in social cognition tasks when exhibiting stress-related behaviors. This underscores how an anxious state can fundamentally alter a cat's interactions. The prevailing trend in current research emphasizes positive reinforcement and strategic environmental management as the most effective approaches for modifying behavior, moving decisively away from outdated, counterproductive punishment-based methods. Contemporary scientific inquiry continues to refine our understanding of the complex behaviors behind the vengeful cat stereotype. A significant 2022 study of fearfulness in over 200 cats revealed clear correlations with a range of problematic behaviors, providing a data-driven backbone to the link between stress and aggression. Modern research is increasingly focusing on multi-cat household dynamics, identifying the specific factors that affect cat-cat relationships and, by extension, the potential for conflict that owners might misinterpret. Emerging investigations into feline social cognition are yielding crucial insights, including the finding that cats show decreased performance in social cognition tasks when exhibiting stress-related behaviors. This underscores how an anxious state can fundamentally alter a cat's interactions. The prevailing trend in current research emphasizes positive reinforcement and strategic environmental management as the most effective approaches for modifying behavior, moving decisively away from outdated, counterproductive punishment-based methods. The enduring idea of the vengeful cat is a compelling blend of ancient myth and modern misunderstanding. Science confirms that cats do not plot revenge in human terms. They lack the cognitive machinery for spite or moralistic punishment. However, their exceptional ability to form lasting, powerful negative associations means they remember our actions and adjust their behavior accordingly, creating a convincing illusion of retribution. Understanding this distinction is more than an academic exercise. It is the key to a harmonious relationship with our feline companions. By recognizing their actions as communication rooted in fear, stress, or past trauma, we can respond with empathy and science-based solutions. While cats may not be the divine avengers of folklore or the calculating schemers of internet fame, their complex emotional lives and profound memories make them fascinating beings, deserving of our patience and dedicated understanding. So, the next time your cat gets revenge on you by leaving a puddle in your slippers or knocking a vase off the table, you know the real story behind these actions. You now hold more than just knowledge, you hold the key to a more harmonious relationship with your feline friend. If this video helped you unravel the mystery behind your cat's behavior, please give it a thumbs up. It's the best way to show us you do like more content like this. But what do you think? Have you ever experienced a situation you thought was pure feline vengeance? Share your stories in the comments below. We're genuinely curious to hear them. And to make sure you don't miss our future videos, where we decode other puzzling pet behaviors, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.